sword person, although I do have like some for like decoration and non-decoration. The dude was telling me about it. I'm like, oh wow, like, oh yeah, like, we do have some from, this anime and this anime, like, because they, they actually buy it from there and try to sell it, like the replicas, so like they're only like $50 or something like that, and then their swords that they sell, I think the cheapest one that is actually like a real sword, where it's like forged and everything, starts from like $300 to $10,000. I'm like, what? 10,000? Like, but then he was telling me like how they made it, what steel. Some of them is like carbon steel and stuff like that. What they use for the handle and everything, and man, like they know their stuff. And even besides the real stuff that they had, it was anime stuff. So like, oh yeah, like from like Kenpachi's sword, although it's not dented and everything, because you wouldn't want that really if you buy it, because you can just buy a regular sword then. But it's from Bleach, if you guys didn't know. His sword is like, it just looks plain and it looks damaged. Like, instead of like a smooth edge, just think of it like it hit lots of other metal parts and chips off and stuff like that. Or Ichigo's, if everybody knows from Bleach. And like he has those swords, and some from Naruto, and it's just he has a lot from like there's different ones that he likes, and he sells them. So to me, that was actually better than just trying to make money. Although technically he is trying to make money, but he's making money from the swords that he knows, kind of thing. Yeah, hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's those stupid mole thingies that pop up. That's what that is. That's why I keep freezing. Okay. Let me see. That got kind of off my chest because I didn't like it that much for some of the people that sell stuff. I mean, some of it you can't really remember, or you have so much stuff. The person you have to work with, because you can't do it by yourself the whole time. So they probably don't know. So I guess I can understand. But you just still have to kind of know. And yeah. Let's see. What should I talk about? Oh, this is kind of going back to like Marvel and DC and stuff like that with superpowers. My brother VG Challenge and I, when we were around 11, when the first X-Men and Spider-Man and stuff like that came out on Fox TV in the US, we actually thought up of like superpowers for ourselves, plus character names, or like superpower names and superhero. Well, we didn't really consider ourselves superhero because that's too much to take in. You can't really be a superhero unless you really commit to it. Unless you do like Batman, where you're like a vigilante type thing, which that's probably what I guess I would be. But it just depends on what type of story you guys want to make. We actually made this kind of elaborate. At first, we just started out with 3 superpowers, and like since you can just pick all of them when we first started, basically we made like immortality possible. I know that's kind of bad when you like live forever kind of thing, because I don't think anything in Marvel anybody can live forever. Even though it's like, I guess you can have I don't know if Thanos is, but like you have like Apocalypse and all these other people that are like super. Oh, I'll open those later. Oh, that's kind of crappy. Okay, sorry, I got a cough. And I'm gonna get a drink of water too. And we decided to actually cut it down from 3 to 2. And I know 2 is a lot, but the way we pick it, the powers and stuff, they either go together, like you can only do one thing compared to the other. Like I'll give you examples of what we either thought up or used as a good combination. And of course, they each have limits and stuff like that, so you can't make yourself like super powerful. But we also did that too, like decide to try to see how powerful, what you need to take over the world kind of thing, and which one's the best combination. Actually, my older brother thought up of the best one to take, and I'll give you that one in a little bit. But like after we thought of ours, like if you like the examples of the limitations is like if you pick super strength, you can't pick like you can blow up the earth by punching it kind of thing. You're not that strong kind of thing. So like, but if you do that strong, you'd have to have a negative as well. So like let's say you're super strong and you don't really have an immunity, because if you pick super strength and speed, like either you can only go so fast, or your strength is it's up there, but not, you can't like lift a tank kind of thing, but you can still lift like maybe a ton or something like that. That's if you want to go with numbers. Whereas if you go with strength, and then if you want flying or something like that, your flying speed should only be like how fast you run kind of thing. So you can't like fly like supersonic speed or anything. While like if you want to pick the supersonic speed flying, your strength wouldn't really be up there. You can probably lift just, I don't know, like if what do you call it? Maybe like 500 pounds. Something kind of low where it's still up there, but not high enough to say that you're like ultra in strength. So what we decided to do for some of this, like I'll tell you mine, because mine is actually kind of limited to certain stuff, and I think people already had it or kind of thought of this, because in a lot of shows and everything they do kind of have it. Well, I don't know if they do or not, but like there's like a lot of other people's input at certain things. But before that, we tried to do the world dominating one, or which one's the best offense defense type of power. So like if you're trying to fight someone, you can do offense and defense, or try to defend against other people's powers. And we chose like time travel and time freezing not available, because then, well, just the time travel. The time freezing, I guess you can, but we would kind of go with Dragon Ball Z's time freeze guy from Ginyu Force, where you have to like hold your breath or something like that. Because then it makes it harder to use, but it's still technically good, but not overpowering, I guess you call it. Because then if you're tired, of course you're not gonna be able to hold your breath that long then. And if you're going to be moving around trying to attack someone or something like that, of course you're not going to be able to hold in your breath, right? So the one thing we thought up is Cyclops' Optic Blast, which is like a concussion force. Basically it's a push type thing. It doesn't burn, it doesn't, it's not a laser. Like for his, I gotta say something for it. I don't know how Marvel did some of theirs, because if it's concussive, meaning it'll always push through. It's like it can blow through a mountain and it'll just keep on going with the length of time of putting it on there and stuff like that. And but even though like some of it reflects, so I'm like, what? Why is it reflecting when it's supposed to be concussive? It's not a laser. If you're making a laser, it should burn, I guess. But it's just weird stuff that I don't know why people would change, or at least trying to edit. But other than that, we used his. It still comes out of the eyes. So technically you can't do too much. So it always comes out. So you either have to close your eyes or get that ruby quartz glasses or something like that. I think that's what those are. And we also put super speed with this person, and we'll say maybe like sonic speed. So it's fast but not too fast. So technically you can still see him and everything. Sorry, I got a cough again. And with that, decided to the best offense and defense type thing is if you can go super speed, you can actually look around everywhere, or at least around your head and stuff, and you know, everything in front of you. You can basically make a wall of concussive force as you're running along the ground. So you'd be like a big sphere or ball of energy just flying towards the person, and you technically can't get hit if you look everywhere, because then it'd almost be everywhere for where you look. You know, so anybody that has like super strength, even flying, can't really do anything. People with like ground stuff should be able to, because you know, you can kind of knock him down because you know he's running, so he can't fly or anything. So you know, after you knock him down, it's like then trip him or something. You know, like whatever they do with like the Flash, you know, you can do too. Although Flash can go a lot quicker than a sonic boom, but let me see. In Marvel, it's Quicksilver, which is Magneto's son, I believe. He goes about sonic speed. I've actually looked this stuff up because we were so into it. But yeah, like we did that, and I don't even remember if we had any other ones besides that one, where you can do offense and defense type. Like, you know, if you're trying to defend against someone, you just shoot that all around you. So like if you get caught, if they don't lock your head down or anything, you can just keep on blasting all around you and stuff. The best world dominating one my older brother thought of is like, I think I don't know if this is technically a power that we were really gonna allow, but it's mind control, and then Rogue's ability stealing one. Because in the cartoons and even in the comics and stuff like that, if she holds onto that person long enough, that person dies, but she gains it almost 100% of their powers. Like, that's how long it lasts. Because you know, she technically does gain their abilities for a certain amount of time. Like if she like in the movie, you know, she like healed herself by touching Wolverine because he was using his powers and stuff. Think of that, but if you think of, or if you've watched the the cartoon show, or read the comics where she can fly and has super strength, she basically stole that from another person. I think it was Mrs. I don't know if it's Mrs. Marvel or not. Some lady that has flying and super strength, and held on to her too long. So you know, also got her memories and stuff too, because that's how that works. And also got her powers, and she went into a coma, and you know, it lasts quite a long time, but don't know the actual length of it. So you know, like, she does have almost permanent, you know. So with that, if you have mind control, you just find someone that has other powers. Like, let's say the first person you want to try to meet is super speed, because then with super speed you don't really need mind control that much. Then you can steal their powers, so you technically have 3, and then 4, and then 5, and just keep on going. So as you steal more powers, you can take over the world that way by being super powerful. Instead of, you know, just trying to mind control like the presidents and stuff like that, you can basically destroy the world yourself. And then with that, the power that I think is really good with that one is I don't know the actual name for it, but basically it's called like multiplicity or something like that, where you can multiply yourself. In the Marvel comics, the guy's name is Multiple Man. Kind of simple, but that's what he does. He can multiply himself. The comics I don't really like as much, because they can live basically as long as he does. Some of the effects that he has, I think, is kind of bad for what they do, because like, you don't know which one's the real one. I'm like, how could you not? You know, like, they shouldn't like the way it's okay. Like, I'll just start off. My powers is super strength and the multiplicity thing, and the way I do it is the strength is actually varied within each extra that I make. Even though I'm a twin, you know, it seems kind of weird to have that type of power, but you know, that's what I would get. and you know, each one I make, I can put on a certain amount of strength compared to my total. And I think I made it to like maybe 10 tons or something like that for my strength. But you know, the multiplying thing, each one you can select like maybe 10% or 20% of the max, and that would actually be taken out. So you would actually be less, and your second or third or whatever will have whatever that percent is. And that way, you know, like if I make 10 of them, you know, and I put all 10 of them, 10% of my strength each, and then myself would have 10%, you know. Or if I make 9 and, you know, there's a total of 10, you know, we would all have 10%. So that with that, you could be your own team, basically, if you want to try to do something. I also made it where if they die, you have like all their knowledge and everything with it. So like, you know, if you either destroy it or what do you call it, assimilate it back and stuff, you will have all the knowledge that it has gained. So it's basically another you living that type of life, and that's what they do for multiple man in certain ones. But some of them decide to leave and just try to become their own or something like that. This one you can't really, because like they'll have the strength, but they can't do the multiplying as what you would.